It stands for what's true in the sea of blue. In the People's Republic, it fills us with cheer, we're far from austere. In the People's Republic, the People's Republic of Brighton and Hove.
We're in St Anne's Wells Gardens. We're here for a People's Republic of Brighton and Hove picnic. This one's called the Greek Solidarity Picnic, which came out of earlier in the year when the Greek economic stuff was all in the news, and we wanted to kind of do something to show our support for that, really.
So we get together every 2 weeks and just exchange ideas, and then we sort of collate the ideas and then sort of act on them.
Fletcher over there has been very strongly involved in the selling of the badges, which I'll just show you quickly. There's my badge. And we've raised over £3,000 for local charities just by selling the badges.
Why do we feel so passionate about Greece? Is it because it's the home of democracy?
Oh, yes, let's go with that.
That's why I'm here.
Absolutely. The home of democracy, the home of Socrates and Aristotle.
What the Germans want to us is the model future of what they want for all of Europe. For all of us just do as these companies bid. So it's like an Orwellian scenario, really, what's going on there. I think we recognise that that's where this government wants to take us in the future here. And then I started shouting Toga Party, and that was it.
I've just come back from Greece. I've been in Lesbos, and whilst I was there ostensibly on holiday, but I took stuff over for refugees because I'd read about the refugees arriving in Lesbos, and I was really shocked and saddened by what I saw. In the port of Mytilene, there's sort of makeshift camps, and people are sleeping on cardboard. Some of them have tents if they can. They put them up wherever they can. There's 1,000 refugees arriving every single day from Turkey. I met Syrian refugees and Afghani refugees mainly, and Iraqi. I spent a lot of time with Syrian refugees, particularly one group who told me that they had to pay $1,000 each, including the babies, to get across the water from Turkey to Greece, and then they had to pay another $2,000 to get to Hungary. By train, you'll get through Hungary actually. So it's really shocking, and those are the ones who can afford it, and then the Afghanis have no money at all. So, I did what I could. I went to the supermarkets, I bought nappies, baby food, just sort of parcels of juice and biscuits, whatever I could find, really, and took it and gave it out to the families that I could see with small children and spend time with them. But it was very, very harrowing. I really, really feel that we've got to do something.
Well, I was an aid worker for 10 years, and I worked in the Albanian refugee camp when the Kosovo War was happening, and women and children and women who had gynecological problems because of the rape and abuse they'd suffered were being shoved across the border from Macedonia right through into Albania. So I saw firsthand that these aren't big groups of people that we can talk as and think as not human, but a group. Actually, these are individual people with individual stories, and we need to think of them in those terms. They think, they care, they love, and they are in extraordinary amounts of pain. And we need to make sure that we as a community recognise that. And we also need to recognise that we have a human duty to treat them with dignity and respect.
In terms of the refugees in Greece, I know that there's sort of grassroots local activists on the island, certainly on Lesbos, but I tried to contact them. I wasn't able to contact them directly, who were helping out as well. I saw Médecins Sans Frontières, the Doctors Without Borders organisation. They were running the buses that take refugees from the camp to the port, where they queue up to buy tickets to get to Athens and wait to go to Athens. Didn't see any actual aid organisations there at all, and I didn't meet any other Western people like me apart from a Cypriot photojournalist at all. So I was very much on my own there, doing what I was doing, and it felt like the Greek people are very tolerant and very kind, but it's really hard for them. It's really, really hard for them because there's such an influx of people, and Greece is in such dire straits anyway that having to deal with thousands of refugees coming through every day is really hard. It's really hard on their economy. It's really hard for the people, and some of them get pretty frustrated by it.
We all got on the coach, and the bus driver turned around and said in Greek, "Does anybody need to go to Linarial, which is the port on the other outside the island, because if you do, I haven't got enough petrol. I've only got enough to take us up to the main village, and the island had no petrol because the petrol station had gone bust. Because the economy there, you don't pay. You sort of go and get petrol, go to the supermarket, and you have a tab, and then whenever you've got money, once a month or twice a month, you go and pay your bills. And people couldn't, so the place went bust. And that's how bad it is. I have friends who, when their light bulb goes, couldn't replace it. So they're literally just essentials.
I mean, given that the Republic was set up as a result of the election results, and we were just kind of half in despair that the Tories had won, but also grateful that Brighton and Hove had become red and green. So I think most people who've joined it do have a political interest, but we're also very aware that the stuff that's happening in Brighton, the stuff that's happening in the UK, is reflective of the stuff that's happening worldwide. And it's clear from the posts that go on there that a lot of people really care about all the stuff that happens with the Greek economy and how the Greeks are kind of isolated, and the story that you're getting in the paper isn't necessarily the real story on the ground. But also, I would say in the last couple of weeks there's been a hell of a lot of stuff about the Calais migrants as well, and so I think there's a lot of people in Brighton and Hove who really care that we live in a world where lots of people are affected by the stuff that's happening to them. So yes, we want to focus on our local community and make that better, but we also want to say we're humans, we're part of humanity, we care about what's going on out there as well.